वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नाम। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे। I'm just forwarding the link to some devotees in case they want to join. I don't know if there's an option to record this.
Yeah, there is.
Let me just see it from my
Do the devotees on Zoom also need a translation?
All of them know English. I don't know if we need translation. Oh, there are two more people who have joined. I don't know who are. Ramchandra has joined. Sakshi Gopal has joined twice. Okay. Everything he has to do extra. Huh?
He's very eager to hear. He wants to hear twice.
You have joined, you've taken one link for 1 year, is it? Left ear one link, right ear another link. So much desire for hearing. Rupa Goswami prays that please give me 1,000,000 ears and tongues so I can chant the holy name and hear it. I'm just checking if I can record this, so that they have an option. Room settings. It's there below. I'm comfortable with Zoom, but I'm not comfortable with my iPad. Just one sec. There it is.
Recording in progress.
There it is.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for joining this class on Madhurya Kadambini. We will start the translation if somebody who doesn't understand English joins. For the time being, everybody knows English, so we'll have the class in English, and then we'll start the. Oh, for the YouTube, we'll have to. Okay, fine. So you can start the translation.
Vamos a comenzar. Muchas gracias por conectarse a esta clase del Madhurya Kadambini. Vamos a comenzar leyendo de la introducción.
So, Her Grace Nikunja Nivasini Mataji, who's my god sister, very dear friend, she had a desire that we should start these classes for the devotees of Latin America.
Su gracia, Nikunja Nivasini Devidasi, quien es mi hermana espiritual, tenía el deseo de que comenzáramos el estudio de este libro para los devotos de Latinoamérica.
Normally we have weekly classes for the devotees of El Salvador. Few of them join.
Por lo general tenemos clases semanalmente con los devotos del Salvador y algunos devotos se conectan.
But we just thought that we can give something more very focused from Shastra given by the Acharyas. So as for the desire of Mataji, we are starting with Madhurya Kadambini.
Pero teníamos el deseo de profundizar más en los Shastras, así que gracias al deseo de la Mataji comenzaremos el estudio del Madhurya Kadambini.
Madhurya Kadambini is a wonderful work for both the sadhaka and the siddha, those who are in practice and those who are in perfection of devotion service.
Y el Madhurya Kadambini es un maravilloso libro para ambos, los sadhakas y los siddhas, aquellos que todavía son practicantes y los que ya han alcanzado la perfección.
So this comes in the form of 8 showers.
Este libro es presentado en la forma de 8 baños, se les puede decir.
And today we will deal with the first shower. I'm just hoping that we'll be able to complete it today. This is primarily an introduction to the rest of the book and the whole process of bhakti and how it starts, how it is sustained.
Y se podría decir lluvias, sería una mejor traducción. Son 8 lluvias, así que el día de hoy comenzaremos con la primera lluvia. Trataremos de terminarla, ya que es un libro que nos habla sobre el proceso del bhakti, cómo es que comienza el bhakti y cómo se sostiene.
Ridva prenava bhakti shasya vitate sanjivani svagamarambe kamatapat tudahadamani vishwapagolasini duran me marushaginopi sarasi bhavaya bhuyat prabhu Sri Chaitanya Kripa Nirankushamaha Madhurya Kadambini. So this Madhurya Kadambini means these are the sweet bank of clouds of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy.
Este Madhurya Kadambini significa que es el dulce banco de nubes de la lluvia de la misericordia del Señor Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So this Madhurya Kadambini, which is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it brings rapture to all the rivers of the universe. Rapture meaning it makes them energetic, enervates them.
Entonces este Madhurya Kadambini, que es la misericordia del Señor Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, trae como esa vitalidad o energiza a todos los ríos que entran en el océano.
It brings life to the new grains of devotional service recently planted in the field of the heart.
También eso le trae nueva vida a los granos del servicio devocional que han sido plantados en el corazón.
And it extinguishes the intense summer heat of lust.
Y también además se extingue el calor del verano de la lujuria.
Kama tapartu daha damani. It extinguishes the intense summer heat of lust from very far off itself.
Lo que hace es que extingue ese calor extremo del verano de la lujuria y se lo lleva muy lejos.
Basically, Sri Chaitanya, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes himself as a worthless soul and who is a dried up branch in the desert.
He describes himself as that. Y básicamente Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur se describe a sí mismo como un alma insignificante y como una rama seca que se ha secado en el desierto.
So after this is like the Mangala Charan. First he introduces the work and he glorifies Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Entonces este texto en sí es como el Mangala Charana porque está describiendo, dando una introducción a su obra y está también ofreciéndole sus reverencias y respetos al Señor Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And then he glorifies and thanks Srila Rupa Goswami.
Y luego él glorifica y le da las gracias a Srila Rupa Goswami.
Many devotees say that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is basically Shaktivaisha of Rupa Goswami.
Muchos devotos dicen que Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur de hecho es un Shaktiavesha avatar de Rupa Goswami.
Because Rupa Goswami wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu.
Porque Rupa Goswami escribió el Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu y Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur escribió el Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu.
Bhakti purvai sritatantu rasam pashyat yadatadihi tam nomi satatam rupa nama priyajanam harehe. I can just simply forward the book to you. My assistant scanned the whole book. But I don't know. I think ideally speaking, devotees should purchase the book because Bhanu Maharaj has translated the book nicely. So maybe you can download a PDF version for the three of you. Mataji and both the sons, you can download a PDF version of Madhurya Kadambini by Bhanu Swami Maharaj. It will be nice. I mean, I think it is good etiquette. I'm just suggesting, otherwise we'll see how it can be done. Otherwise you can manage without the book also.
I can share one with everyone. I have one myself.
This is Bhanu Maharaj's?
I think so. I didn't read the translated, but
It's got that blue cover. It's got the blue cover, light blue cover.
I don't know. The thing is, I have it in PDF.
I can share
and,
with you, I have it.
it doesn't show the cover.
I can share with
it
you.
just showed Madhurya Kadambini.
No, I can share with you also. I have the book. It's just that I did not want to. I wanted those who can afford it should buy the book because otherwise it's piracy.
Of course.
Anyway, so let's go ahead. Tam naumi satatam rupanama priyajanam harehe. So basically Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that there are many others who have attained bhakti with rasas.
Y básicamente Rupa Goswami lo que está diciendo que hay otros quienes han alcanzado o obtenido el bhakti con rasa.
And he says Rupa Nama Priyajanam Harehe. But he is specifically offering obeisances to Srila Rupa Goswami, who is very, very dear to the Supreme Lord. He is dearest, in fact.
Pero dice que especialmente le ofrece sus reverencias a Rupa Goswami, quien es muy querido por el Señor, el más querido de hecho por el Señor.
Why? Because by the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami, humanity has received the intelligence to see rasa. Rasam pashyed yadattadihi. They got the intelligence and the vision to see what is rasa. And that has come by the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami. As we know, he is called the Rasacharya.
¿Por qué? Porque es por la misericordia de Rupa Goswami que la humanidad ha recibido la inteligencia para poder ver qué es el rasa. Es solamente por la misericordia de Rupa Goswami que podemos saber qué es rasa. Y como sabemos, Rupa Goswami también es el Rasa Acharya.
And going forward, it is explained how rasa means the Lord himself in one sense.
Sí, continuando, la palabra rasa o rasa en sí también significa el Señor mismo.
As we know, there are various coverings of the consciousness. Srila Prabhupada talks about it in Bhagavad Gita also. Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha.
Y como sabemos, hay varias coberturas. También se describen en el Bhagavad Gita, los diferentes koshas, Annamaya Kosha, what are they?
Manomaya,
Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha,
Anandamaya.
Vijnanamaya Kosha y Anandamaya Kosha.
So I am giving a homework to you, Ramachandra. Can you hear me?
Así que le daremos una tarea a Ramachandra.
Yes.
In Bhagavad Gita, I am not going to tell you which chapter. Just pick up the chapter, look at what is that shloka in the purport where Srila Prabhupada talks about these various coverings. By next week, you do this research and post that particular purport on this group itself.
Okay, coverings of what?
Consciousness. Annamaya
Okay.
Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, I just told you. That one.
Okay, perfect. Alright.
So this series of descriptions of the koshas, of the coverings of the consciousness, concludes with the statement Brahma Pucham Pratishta, which means Brahman is the very base of all this.
Y entonces esa serie de descripciones de las diferentes coberturas de la conciencia concluye con la declaración de que Brahman es la base de todo ello.
So, but when we hear this kind of a statement, you might think that Brahman is the shelter of everything. He is the shelter of even the Anandamaya Purusha, the person, form of the Lord.
Entonces cuando escuchamos esta declaración podemos creer que Brahman es el refugio de absolutamente todo, incluyendo a Anandamaya Purusha, la personalidad de Dios.
But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur very nicely confirms this, that in the very same scripture of Taittiriya Upanishad, it is mentioned, Raso Vaisaha Rasaggo Hevayam Labdvanandi Bhavati. The Lord is rasa itself. He, the jiva, when he gets this rasa, when he attains the Lord, he attains the rasa, then the jiva becomes really blissful and happy. You can just open up what I sent you. It becomes easy for you.
That's, I have it. Pero Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur también confirma algo que se declara en el mismo libro, en el Tayatri Upanishad. Ahí se dice que el Señor es el rasa mismo, y cuando el jiva alcanza ese rasa que es el Señor, entonces obtiene la verdadera felicidad o una dicha.
The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu starts with the statement that Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. He is the source of all the rasas or the mellows.
Y el Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu también comienza declarando que el Señor es la fuente de todos los rasas.
We also know how Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the narrations of Krishna, is called Rasama Alayam. It is full of mellows, rasas.
And, sorry, where is that? In,
Srimad Bhagavatam.
también en Srimad
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam.
Rasama Alayam.
Yeah, third verse. Se dice en el Bhagavatam también que el Señor es esa fuente de todos los rasas.
Maybe I should say something from Brihad Bhagavatam. So similarly, the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is called the Pramanam Amalam, it's the emperor of all the evidence, and it is the cream of Vedanta. What is that called? It's called I forgot the exact term. This is Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. It is a very commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. It is the emperor of all types of evidence and the cream of Vedanta. Therefore, it describes Krishna as the embodiment of all the rasa or the pleasure potency. And Krishna therefore is greater than Brahman.
Y similarmente, también se dice en el Srimad Bhagavatam que el Srimad Bhagavatam en sí es el emperador de toda evidencia, es la crema del Vedanta. Se le llama el Brahma Sutra Bhasya, porque es el emperador de toda la evidencia y la crema del Vedanta. Y es la encarnación de todo rasa, de la potencia de placer. Y entonces, así se concluye que Krishna entonces es mayor que el Brahman.
So let us look at let's look at an example of how Krishna is the source of all rasas.
Así que veamos un ejemplo de cómo es que Krishna es la fuente de todo rasa.
Mallanam asanirnanam naravarastrinam smaro murtiman gopanam svajano shatam kshitibujam shashta swapitro shishuhu mrityur bhojapater virada vidusham tatvam param yoginam Vrishninam paradevate eti vidido rangam gatasagrajaha. From the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto 43rd chapter 17th verse, Krishna enters the wrestling arena of Kamsa and various people see him as various ways, in various manner. He's the same person. So I will let our Karunaksha Prabhu read this in Spanish.
So this is found in the 10th canto, chapter
10:43-17.
17. Esto lo podemos encontrar en el Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 10, capítulo 43, texto 17. Dice, varios grupos de personas en la arena vieron a Krishna de diferentes maneras cuando él entró con su hermano mayor. Los luchadores...
Hermano mayor meaning elder brother.
Ajá, hermano mayor, elder brother. Los luchadores vieron a Krishna como un relámpago. Los hombres de Mathura lo vieron como el mejor de los hombres. Las mujeres lo vieron como Cupido en persona. Los pastores de vacas lo vieron como su familiar. Los impíos lo vieron como el castigador. Sus padres lo vieron como su propio hijo. El rey de los boyas lo vieron como la muerte.
Who is the king of the bojas?
¿Quién es el rey de las boyas?
Kamsa.
Kamsa mismo. Las personas inteligentes lo vieron como la forma universal del Señor Supremo. Los yogis lo vieron como la verdad absoluta y los vrishnis lo vieron como su suprema deidad adorable.
So now we see that it is the same Krishna, and because of the various rasas that are being exchanged with him, each person was present in the arena, or each category of persons present in the arena saw him as something different.
Entonces podemos ver que es el mismo Krishna, pero debido a los varios diferentes razas que intercambiaba con sus devotos o con las personas, cada una de esas personas en la arena lo vieron de una manera distinta.
And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna personally affirms his identity. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman.
Y en el Bhagavad Gita, Krishna confirma su verdadera identidad. Él dice que él es la base de ese Brahman.
So, the question can be raised, if Krishna is everything, the source of all rasas, how is it that people cannot recognize Krishna because he is full of Shuddha Sattva? How is it that nobody can recognize his name, form, qualities and pastimes, which are all imbued with Shuddha Sattva?
Entonces, si Krishna es la fuente de todas las razas, ¿cómo es posible que la gente no lo reconozca? Si él es Shuddha Sattva, ¿cómo es que las personas no puedan reconocer su nombre, sus cualidades y sus pasatiempos, los cuales todos están llenos de ese Shuddha Sattva?
Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ajopi san navyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. So the Krishna descends by his own sweet will, by his own maya, yoga maya potency, by his own energy. He does not come by any material cause.
Porque en el Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mismo también declara que él desciende por su propia dulce voluntad. Él desciende por la potencia de Yoga Maya, por su propia energía, y no desciende por ninguna otra causa material.
So before the mind, intellect and senses of the ordinary persons, he appears as Lord Ramachandra in the Raghu dynasty or as Lord Krishna in the Yadu dynasty.
Entonces, para la mente e inteligencia de las personas, él aparece como Ramachandra en la dinastía de Raghu y aparece como Krishna en la dinastía de Yadu.
We say that Krishna appears in one day of Brahma, but it's not like Krishna has to wait for one day of Brahma. It's up to him. He is independent, he is Swarat. So, just like he is not dependent on any material cause for his appearance, similarly, Bhakti, which is his energy, that is non-different from him, is also not dependent on any material cause. So Krishna is not dependent on any material cause to appear. His Bhakti is also not dependent on any material cause to appear.
Entonces nosotros decimos que Krishna aparece cada un día de Brahma, pero no es necesario que el Señor espere un día, porque Él es Swarat, Él es independiente, Él puede aparecer por su propia voluntad, no depende de ninguna causa material. Y el Bhakti, que es la energía del Señor Krishna, similarmente no depende de ninguna causa material, y el Bhakti puede venir de igual manera por su propia voluntad.
You're stretching the translation for me? So, in the very first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore mentioned that Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma Yado Bhakti Radhokshade Ahituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasitati. The supreme dharma for all devotees, for all living entities in general and specifically human beings, is sadhana bhakti, which is the supreme dharma, paro dharma. But it says that the paro dharma is that which helps rise to yato bhakti radhokshaja. So what is that bhakti? That bhakti is prema bhakti. So sadhana bhakti, performance of sadhana bhakti which leads to prema bhakti, and it cannot be caused by anything else. It cannot be obstructed by anything else. Yayatma suprasidati, which satisfies the mind completely. Prasidati satisfies, suprasidati completely satisfies. So that is the supreme dharma. So our supreme dharma therefore is to perform sadhana bhakti in order to attain unmotivated, uninterrupted prema bhakti. I'm just explaining the thing again, that's all.
Entonces, en el Srimad Bhagavatam también se confirma esto, en el verso Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. Se dice que el Dharma supremo para toda la humanidad, para todos los seres vivientes, es el Sadhana Bhakti. Pero ese Sadhana Bhakti debe de dirigirlo a uno al Prema Bhakti, un Bhakti que se realiza sin ninguna obstrucción y sin ninguna causa, sin ningún motivo personal. Y eso es lo que puede satisfacer por completo la mente del practicante.
Now, like we said, that the Lord appears not by any material cause. So that means He appears, as they say, yadruchaya. Yadruchaya normally means that it is coincidentally, all of a sudden it happens.
Y como dijimos, se dice que el Señor no aparece por ninguna causa material, sino que aparece por su voluntad, y se dice que Él aparece como, se usa la palabra como por coincidencia o por casualidad, cuando Él lo desea, no por ninguna causa material.
Like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yadricha Labha Santushta. Happiness or any pleasure that comes on its own accord should be welcomed, not seek it.
Así como Krishna también dice en el Bhagavad Gita que esa felicidad y placer que ocurre por sí solo debe aceptarse.
But here, Acharyas, especially Vishwanath Thakur, is confirming here that statements like Yadrichaya Mat Kadadase from the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, or Mat Bhaktim Yadrichaya, again from the 11th canto, and Yadrichaya Vopachita. Here, Yadrichaya does not necessarily mean coincidentally, but it means by Krishna's own independent sweet will, because Yadrichaya also means complete independence.
Pero nuestros acharyas, y en particular Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, de quien estamos leyendo, acá confirma que en el canto número 11 del Srimad Bhagavatam, esa palabra Yadrichaya no solamente significa por casualidad o por coincidencia, sino que significa por la dulce voluntad independiente del Señor Krishna.
Sometimes people assume that this word Yadrichaya could actually just mean luck, by good fortune, like we say when good fortune arises. So just by luck it happens.
Y hay personas que suponen o asumen que esta palabra Yadrichaya significa por suerte o por buena fortuna, así como a veces se dice cuando surge la buena fortuna.
So does this mean that bhakti is caused just by some luck? And if that luck is there, so does it mean that you have to perform some punya karma, some pious activity to get that luck?
Entonces, ¿qué quiere decir eso? Quiere decir que el bhakti es causado solo por suerte y que uno tiene que realizar punya karma, actividades piadosas, hasta que por suerte surja el bhakti.
But as per scripture, bhakti is independent of any pious activity, whether you have done pious activity or not. What pious activity did so many personalities in Vraja and the Bhagavatam that are highlighted? Are we saying that all of them have conducted pious activities? Like Srila Prabhupada was asked by his devotees, what pious activity did we do to get a guru like you? He said, you have no piety, I have given you spiritual piety.
Pero según los shastras, según las escrituras, el bhakti es de hecho independiente de las actividades piadosas. Porque ¿qué actividades piadosas realizaron las grandes personalidades que se describen en el Bhagavatam de Vraja y otros lugares? Todos ellos, ¿acaso tuvieron que hacer actividades piadosas para obtener el bhakti? De hecho, a Srila Prabhupada también sus discípulos le hicieron esa pregunta. Le preguntaron, ¿qué actividades piadosas hicimos nosotros para obtener a un maestro espiritual como usted? Y Srila Prabhupada dijo, ustedes no tienen ninguna actividad piadosa. Yo les he dado las actividades piadosas.
As per scripture, bhakti is Atma Sambhava. It is self-manifesting. That is the nature of bhakti. So how can any pious activity therefore lead to bhakti? It is contradictory.
Entonces, las escrituras dicen que el bhakti se manifiesta por sí mismo. Entonces, ¿cómo puede haber una actividad piadosa que conduzca al bhakti? Eso sería contradictorio.
Now you say that, okay, it is not due to some piety, but it is due to something that is very indescribable in words, it is unknowable to the intellect. Then it means it is completely insubstantial. It cannot be a cause. Something that your intelligence does not understand and cannot be described means that it cannot be accepted as a cause for bhakti.
Pero ahora alguien podría decir, bueno, que quizás no ocurra por actividades piadosas, pero sino que el bhakti ocurre por algo indescribible, algo que no se puede llegar a entender con la mente o el intelecto. Pero entonces eso sería algo insustancial, algo que no se puede aceptar. ¿Cómo se puede aceptar algo que no se puede comprender con la mente o no se puede describir?
Mata, do you have a question? You raised your hand.
Yes, but maybe you will explain in the future. Just is the same. It's a question the same way of you are explaining
Okay.
now. Is the bhakti is independent? What we need to do for call call the bhakti to us? How we can to be ready to call the bhakti?
Okay, understood. We will come to that. Today we are focusing first on bhakti itself, what causes bhakti, and then from the next session onwards we'll be taking each of the levels, starting with Shraddha till Prem. That is what this whole book is all about. Each of the showers, from second shower, it's Shraddha to Anishtita Bhajana Kriya, then after that is Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. Likewise, the next 7 chapters are like that. So as we gradually go through those processes, we can see each level, what are the challenges and how do we overcome that. Therefore, we will know how to keep our heart receptive, and practice bhakti in a manner that we keep growing. Right?
I'll give a summary of that just for the people listening. So, tenían una pregunta con respecto al Bhakti, pero estaremos cubriendo todos estos temas. El día de hoy nos vamos a enfocar en cuál es la causa del Bhakti. Y en la próxima sesión hablaremos sobre los diferentes niveles que se describen en este libro, empezando por Shraddha. De eso se trata este libro, del progreso del servicio devocional, comenzando por Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, Prema. Así que vamos a repasar todos esos niveles, las diferentes lluvias que se describen en el libro y cuáles son los desafíos que el practicante presenta en cada una de esas etapas y cómo podemos superarlos para mantener el corazón receptivo y para seguir la práctica del Bhakti.
So far we've discussed that bhakti cannot come by chance. We've discussed that bhakti cannot come by any pious activity. We also discussed that bhakti cannot come by something that cannot be defined and inconclusive. Then we go to another option. So somebody says that bhakti is caused by Krishna's mercy.
Así que hasta el momento hemos cubierto de que el Bhakti en sí no puede surgir por casualidad o por suerte, tampoco puede venir a través de actividades piadosas, ni tampoco puede surgir como resultado de algo indefinible o algo inconclusivo. Entonces otra opción es que algunas personas dicen que el Bhakti surge simplemente por la misericordia de Krishna.
If that is the case, then we'll have to look for what causes that particular mercy. That means that also is not very conclusive.
Pero si decimos que esa es la causa del Bhakti, entonces no es muy conclusivo, porque entonces tendríamos que preguntar, pero ¿qué es lo que causa que Krishna dé su misericordia?
Now suppose we say that the cause is the Lord's mercy, absolute mercy, because it is unqualified and causeless, ahaituki kripa. Then if it is that, then it appears as if Krishna is showing favoritism. Somebody gets mercy, somebody doesn't get mercy. And Krishna says in Gita, he is samoham sarva bhuteshu. How is that only some people get mercy and some people don't?
Pero supongamos que el Bhakti surge de la misericordia absoluta de Krishna, porque Krishna tiene una misericordia sin causa y incondicional, ahaituki kripa. Pero si ese es el caso, entonces eso significaría que Krishna muestra favoritismo, porque a algunas personas le da Bhakti y a otras no. Pero no puede ser, porque en el Bhagavad Gita Krishna dice que él es imparcial.
So the Acharya says here that the Lord is, of course, is biased and partial to his devotees. But this partiality is to protect his devotees from persecution by the evil elements. Please remember, it is Paritranaya Sadhanam first. Vinayasyatsudurshkritam only next.
Pero nuestros acharyas dicen que el Señor es parcial, puede que sea parcial con los devotos, pero esa parcialidad que el Señor tiene para con sus devotos es para protegerlos de aquellos elementos malignos, Por eso Paritranayam viene primero, Paritranaya Sadhunam viene primero para proteger a los devotos y después es para aniquilar a los impíos.
This quality is defined by acharyas as Bhakta Vatsala quality, which is actually the standout quality of the Supreme Lord, even when we study the Bhagavad Gita.
Y esa cualidad del Señor se define como Bhakta Vatsala y esa es la cualidad o la calidad más destacada del Señor.
Like we say in the Bhagavad Gita, Senayor Ubhyor Madhya Ratham Stapayame Achyuta. So Arjuna tells Krishna, please establish the chariot between the two armies, O Achyuta. The word Achyuta means infallible, which means Krishna is Krishna in all circumstances. He is God. Whether he becomes charioteer, whether he is king, in all circumstances he is infallible.
Así como en el Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna también le dice a Krishna que ponga el carruaje en medio de los dos bandos, de los dos bandos, digamos. Y se refiere a Krishna como Achyuta, porque Achyuta quiere decir el infalible. Eso quiere decir que Krishna es Dios en todas las circunstancias. Aunque sea el auriga de Arjuna o aunque sea el rey, él sigue siendo Krishna, el infalible.
How great is it that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has agreed to become the charioteer of his dear friend? It is so inconceivable. Does any CEO of any company become the chauffeur for his best salesman?
Y cuán grandioso es que la suprema personalidad de Dios acepta ser el auriga de su querido amigo. ¿Acaso el director ejecutivo de una compañía estaría dispuesto a ser el chofer de su mejor vendedor?
So it is mentioned here that this is the standard quality of Krishna, that of Bhakta Vatsala. He does not mind his position, but he is so affectionate to his devotees that he is willing to even become their servant.
Y entonces se menciona que esa es la cualidad más destacada del Señor Krishna, esa cualidad de Bhakta Vatsala, que a él no le importa su propia posición, pero debido al amor y al afecto que tiene por sus devotos, está dispuesto a servirles.
Krishna tells Durvasa, says Durvasa in the context of Ambarish Maharaj's misunderstanding with him, or his misunderstanding about Ambarish Maharaj. He says, Aham Bhakta Paradhina Kyasvatantra Dvijotama. I am bound by my devotees. I am the slave of my devotees. I am dependent on my devotees.
Y así como Krishna le dice a Durvasa Muni en contexto con el pasatiempo del malentendido que hubo entre Durvasa Muni y Ambarish Maharaj, Krishna dice, yo estoy atado por mi devoto, soy el esclavo y soy dependiente de mi devoto.
So acharyas say that this particular quality of Krishna, it does not bring any fault to his character. Rather, it becomes an ornament which enhances his character. Just like a king is equanimous with everyone, but with his son, he obviously has a greater affection.
Y los acharyas dicen que esta calidad o esta cualidad del Señor Krishna no es que sea un defecto en su carácter, sino que al contrario es un adorno en el carácter del Señor. Así como un rey puede ser ecuánime con todos, pero con su hijo siempre será más afectuoso naturalmente.
So we say that Krishna is dependent on his devotees, and devotees out of their costless mercy can give spiritual piety or even bhakti to ordinary souls.
Entonces decimos que Krishna depende de sus devotos. Y los devotos de Krishna tienen la habilidad de poder dar piedad o actividades piadosas a las demás personas o incluso pueden darle el propio bhakti a los demás.
In fact, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talks not about 9 levels but 14 levels of the growth of devotional service.
Y de hecho, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur habla no solo de 9, sino de 14 niveles.
I'll try, maybe I'll ask Karunaksha Prabhu, that's his homework. He has to post that in this WhatsApp group. The levels of devotional service as outlined by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It starts with Satam Kripa or Mahat Kripa.
Quizás esa será la tarea de Karunaksha Das, que publica en el grupo de WhatsApp cuáles son esos 14 niveles del servicio devocional que se describen por Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
So the point is that the characteristic of a Madhyama Adhikari is that Ishvarecha Tadidineshu Balisheshu Dvishatsu cha Prema Maitri Kripopeksha Yat Karoti Sa Madhyama. He, a devotee, a Madhyama devotee. Jai David Prabhu, bienvenidos.
Hare Krishna.
So, Ishvarecha Tadidineshu. With Ishvara, there is love, prema. There is prema for Ishvara. Your chair.
Así.
Bienvenido, madre.
Bueno, el punto es que la característica de un devoto en la etapa de Madhyam Adhikari, un devoto Madhyam, es que hay amor o prema por Ishvara.
Tad Adineshu, which means his devotees. To his devotees, the Madhyama Bhakta, the intermediate devotee, has Maitri, friendship.
Y con los devotos o con los bhaktas, el devoto Madhyam hace amistades.
So to the innocent, they have compassion, kripa.
Y para con los inocentes, ellos tienen compasión, kripa.
And those who are envious, they are neglected, upeksha.
Y para con los envidiosos, él los ignora.
So in one sense, the Madhyama Bhakta, he exhibits a certain kind of partiality in the distribution of mercy or devotion.
Entonces, viéndolo de esa manera, el Madhyam Bhakta exhibe cierta parcialidad en su distribución de la misericordia o del Bhakti.
So in this case, Krishna becomes subservient to his devotee. According to the devotee's mercy, Krishna bestows his mercy.
Entonces, en este caso, Krishna, él se vuelve subordinado por su devoto. Pero eso depende del devoto, dependiendo de la entrega del devoto, de esa manera reciproca Krishna.
But interestingly, so we are saying that the mercy of the devotee is the cause of bhakti.
Pero interesantemente lo que estamos diciendo entonces es que el bhakti depende de la misericordia de los devotos.
Bhaktishtu bhagavat bhakta sangena parijayate. Devotion comes by the association of devotees.
La devoción viene por la asociación con los devotos.
But how did that mercy come from the devotee in the first case?
Pero ¿cómo obtuvo bhakti ese devoto en primera instancia?
It came because there was bhakti in the heart of the devotee. Therefore, he gave mercy to the jiva and he got bhakti.
Ese bhakti vino porque ya había bhakti dentro del corazón del devoto y por ello el devoto tuvo compasión con el otro y le dio también a él el bhakti.
Srila Radhanath Swami Guru Maharaj says, it takes one to make one.
I don't know if that translates to Spanish. It takes one to make one. Srila Radhanath Maharaj Swami dice que se necesita uno para hacer uno.
So if the devotee did not have bhakti, there is no way he could have manifested that mercy so that others could get bhakti.
Entonces, si el devoto no tiene bhakti, entonces no hay manera que pueda manifestar ese bhakti y dárselo a los demás.
So thus bhakti is Atma Sambhava, self-manifesting and independent.
Entonces, se puede decir que el bhakti se manifiesta por sí mismo y es independiente.
In other words, bhakti is the cause of bhakti.
En otras palabras, la causa del bhakti es el bhakti.
Ye kena pyatibhagyena jata shraddhosya sevane. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, the person who has attained faith in the service of the Lord by extreme good fortune, atibhagyena. This atibhagyena means the mercy of a devotee. So this mercy of a devotee, it is far greater than any pious activity.
Entonces el Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, dice que la fe en el servicio del Señor de una persona que ocurre por buena fortuna se debe a la misericordia del devoto. Entonces se concluye que la misericordia del devoto es más elevada que cualquier actividad piadosa.
And the answer to Mother Nikunja Nivasini's question about how do we sustain this bhakti, how do we keep it with us when we receive that mercy, Rupa Goswami himself defines Krishna consciousness, from which Srila Prabhupada got the definition for the International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Entonces, para responder la pregunta de Nikunja Nivasini Mataji sobre cómo se puede sostener el bhakti una vez es recibido, bueno, en el Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami da una definición de la conciencia de Krishna, y de ahí es que Srila Prabhupada obtuvo el nombre para el movimiento de la Asociación para la Conciencia de Krishna.
Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kretam Edi Kutopina Labhyate Tatra Laulyam Api Mulyam Ekalam Koti Janma Sukritina Labhyate. This Laulyam, the greed to possess bhakti, is the biggest qualification. That is the only qualification required. The price to pay to get Krishna Bhakti.
Ese lauliam que se menciona en ese texto, esa ambición o ese deseo intenso de poseer el bhakti, es la mayor y la única cualificación requerida. Ese es el precio a pagar para obtener el bhakti.
So we cannot conclude that the devotee is dependent on Krishna. Krishnaika Sharanam is the standard quality of a pure devotee.
Pero no podemos concluir que el devoto depende de Krishna.
So does this mean that he cannot bestow devotion independently because he is dependent on Krishna?
Pero ¿qué quiere decir eso? Quiere decir que el devoto no puede distribuir la misericordia por sí mismo porque él depende de Krishna.
Tell me, what is your opinion?
¿Qué piensan ustedes? ¿Cuál es su opinión al respecto?
The devotee is dependent on Krishna, but he is giving out mercy to start and sustain somebody's devotion. But if the devotee is dependent on Krishna, does it mean that he cannot independently initiate mercy or start giving mercy?
En otras palabras, la pregunta es si el devoto depende de Krishna, si el devoto es dependiente de Krishna, entonces eso quiere decir que no puede dar y ayudar a sostener el bhakti de los demás por su propia cuenta, sino que tiene que depender de Krishna.
What is the answer?
¿Qué creen? ¿Cuál es la respuesta?
Yes, Mataji.
I say so. The bhakti independent just is follow the desire of the devotee. So it's independent even the Krishna.
So the point that I'm looking at is that because the Lord willingly becomes subservient and dependent on his devotee, we just said it earlier, no? Aham bhakta paradina. Because Krishna is himself dependent on the devotee, he allows the devotee's position to be higher. Therefore, he allows him to give his mercy.
Bueno, el punto al que queremos llegar es que debido a que el Señor se vuelve dependiente de su devoto, así como dijimos anteriormente, Krishna mismo lo dice, él se vuelve dependiente o subordinado por su devoto. Entonces Krishna, él permite que la posición de su devoto sea incluso más elevada que la de él, así que permite que el devoto pueda distribuir la misericordia de Krishna.
So, as Paramatma, Krishna simply oversees the jiva's external senses. It's mentioned here, he simply sees what the jiva is doing as per his old karma. But for the devotees, the Supreme Lord gives special mercy by giving the independent power to bestow mercy on others.
Y aquí se dice que como Paramatma, Krishna supervisa los sentidos externos de los jivas, de las almas vivientes. Y se menciona que él ve lo que las jivas hacen como consecuencia de su karma, pero a sus devotos él le otorga su misericordia especial al permitirles a sus devotos distribuir esa misericordia con las demás jivas.
So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyasi. 18th chapter, 62nd verse. You read the translation.
1862. Oh. En el Bhagavad Gita, capítulo 18, texto 62, se dice: Oh vástago de Bharata, entrégate a él totalmente. Por su gracia conseguirás la paz trascendental y llegarás a la morada suprema y eterna.
What is that line? What is shloka?
Tameva sharanam gasha. Is that it?
Tameva sharanam gacha.
Sarvabhavena Bharata, tat prasadat param shantim, stanam prapsyasi,
Tanam prapsyasi.
shasvatam.
Shashvatam. Tat prasada. By the mercy of the Supreme Lord, we can attain His eternal spiritual realm. But this mercy, this Kripa Shakti, is given to His devotee. The devotee then gives it to the fallen souls, and that is how they get bhakti.
Entonces, la palabra que se usa en el texto es tat prasadat. Quiere decir que por esa misericordia, por la misericordia del Señor, es que podemos alcanzar su morada eterna. Pero esa misma misericordia del Señor se le da al devoto y luego el devoto puede distribuir esa misericordia con las demás almas caídas.
Okay, what should be the duration of these classes?
We was not defined, so we've been going for an hour almost now.
Yeah.
We can do.
So I think what I will do is I would conclude in 1 hour and then take questions. Because otherwise it will not sustain. We start with 1.5 hour classes. After some time, devotees will start dropping off. Yes, Mataji, what are you? Your hand is still up.
Okay, my question is, all preachers want to give the bhakti for all the living entities, no? Because all the preachers want to. But not all the preachers are in the pure position. So the bhakti can be distributed for any devotee, even the platform. No matter the platform. Any devotee can to give the bhakti, or just need to be a devotee like Sakya Vaishnava, like a pure devotee, like Madhyanamadhikari or Uttamadhikari.
Krishna says it has to be. We know for a fact that it's only the Madhyamadhikari who can actually give mercy. Prema, Maitri, Kripa. The Kripa is given only by the Madhyamadhikari. The Uttamadhikari thinks everybody other than him is a devotee. The Kanishtadhikari thinks everybody other than him is a non-devotee. So only the Madhyama Bhakta can correctly discriminate and give the mercy. So you have to be at least a Madhyama Bhakta to receive that Kripa. But of course, Krishna is not restricted by such conditions. If he wants, he can make even atheistic people preach. There is no rule for Krishna. But in general, we say that the person who can really preach is a Madhyamadhikari.
Una muy buena pregunta de la Mataji. Preguntaba en qué nivel tiene que estar el devoto para dar la misericordia, o si todos los devotos pueden dar la misericordia. Y lo que Krishna dice, o según lo que entendemos, es que es el Madhyamadhikari, el devoto de segunda clase, quien puede distribuir la misericordia, porque el Uttamadhikari, el devoto de primera clase, él ya cree que todos ya son devotos. Y el devoto de tercera clase, el Kanishtadhikari, cree que solo él es devoto y todos los demás no son devotos. Entonces solamente el Madhyamadhikari es el que puede hacer esa discriminación y distribuir la misericordia. Sin embargo, Krishna no está restringido por esas condiciones. Si Krishna quiere, él puede hacer incluso que los ateos prediquen y distribuyan misericordia. Pero por lo general se dice que el Madhyamadhikari es quien distribuye la misericordia.
See, the point we also discussed that as per the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Madhyamadikara is somebody who has faith as well as knowledge of scriptures, and only such a person can actually bestow mercy.
Y un punto que discutimos en otras sesiones, según el Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, el Madhyamadikari es aquel devoto que no solamente tiene fe, sino que también tiene conocimiento del Shastra, y por ello él es quien puede distribuir ese Bhakti.
Going further, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur talks about how karma, tapasya, especially it's mentioned that various points like this, that yoga, sankhya, dana, vrata, tapa, all these things, they cannot be the cause of bhakti. But if they are done for the purpose of pleasing Vishnu, then they should be treated as angas of bhakti.
Y bueno, profundizando un poco más, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur también menciona que cosas como la práctica del yoga, del sankhya, dhyana, tapa, todas esas prácticas en sí no pueden llegar a causar que surja el bhakti, pero si alguna de esas actividades se están haciendo para complacer al Señor Vishnu, entonces se deben tratar como si fuesen un anga o un miembro del bhakti.
So this does not mean that bhakti is obtained by these angas of bhakti. It means bhakti is caused by bhakti.
Pero debemos entender que eso no significa que el bhakti sea causado por esos miembros o por esas angas del bhakti. Bhakti siempre es causado por el mismo bhakti.
It is mentioned also here that all other forms of karma, jnana, tapasya, they depend on bhakti for their being successful.
También se menciona aquí que todas esas otras prácticas como el karma, jnana, tapasya dependen del bhakti para poder tener éxito.
Without bhakti, they are like decorating a dead body.
Y sin bhakti esas actividades son simplemente como decorar un cadáver.
Bhagavad bhakti hinasya jati shastram japa tapa apranasya dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. It is just these are just decorations on a dead body to attract common people, whether it is japa, tapa, shastric knowledge, all these things. If there is no bhakti, they are just decorations on a dead body.
Así se describen, que estas actividades son solamente como decoraciones en un cadáver para atraer a las personas comunes. Todo ese conocimiento de shastras, práctica del yoga, dhyana, todo eso es simplemente una decoración.
In fact, bhakti is so independent, it does not even depend on faith.
De hecho, el bhakti es tan independiente que ni siquiera depende de la fe.
Like the Padma Purana says that Shraddhaya Helayava Bhruguvara Naramatram Tarayat Krishna Nama. The holy name, for it to take effect, does not even have to be chanted in complete purity. Shraddhaya Helayova. It can be in faith or in negligence. You can still deliver.
¿Por qué? Porque en el Padma Purana se dice que el canto del santo nombre, para que tenga efecto ese canto del santo nombre, ni siquiera es necesario que se cante en una pureza completa. Se puede cantar con fe o incluso de una manera negligente y siempre dará resultado.
But this does not apply to other limbs of yoga, like karma yoga, where if there is impurity, it is a great obstacle to progress.
Pero eso no aplica a otras ramas o a otras prácticas del yoga, así como el karma yoga. En el karma yoga, si no hay pureza, eso se vuelve un obstáculo en el sendero.
We know that tatrarpita niyamita smarane na kalaha. There is no restrictions of time, place and circumstance on the performance of Sankirtan and chanting the holy name.
Y como sabemos del Shikshastakam, no hay reglas ni estrictas ni difíciles, ni lugar ni circunstancia para practicar el Sankirtan.
But you see the example of the Twashta performing a sacrifice to get an asura to kill Indra.
Pero podemos ver el ejemplo de Twashta, quien ejecutó un sacrificio para un asura, ejecutó ese sacrificio para poder matar al rey Indra.
Instead of saying Indra Shatroho, if you say Indra Shatroho, makes a big difference. Instead of becoming that person for whom Indra is enemy, it will become that person who is enemy of Indra, and vice versa. So Twashta wanted to say that person who is enemy of Indra, but he ended up saying that person for whom Indra is the enemy, and therefore Vritrasura was finally killed by Indra.
Así como en ese pasatiempo, el demonio lo que quería decir en sánscrito, en la oración, es que quería destruir a aquella persona para quien Indra es un enemigo. Pero lo que terminó diciendo es que se destruye a la persona quien es el enemigo de Indra. Entonces, en lugar de que muriera Indra, se terminó matando al demonio.
There is another point of discussion, which is that if somebody renounces the path of dharma, artha, kama, etc., then he is called a vantasi apatrapaha. He is called a shameless eater of vomit.
Y otro punto de discusión que se menciona es que aquella persona que renuncia al camino del dharma, artha, kama, se describe como
Meaning he has renounced them once, but he starts enjoying them again.
cuando renuncia a esas actividades de dharma, artha, kama, pero luego vuelve a practicar esas actividades, se dice como que es un sinvergüenza que come su propio vómito.
We can also see that there are great examples of jnana yogis, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana. They were certainly not worthy of praise.
Sí, podemos ver que hay grandes jnanis o grandes yogis, así como por ejemplo Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, quienes no son dignos de alabanza.
But if somebody is performing bhakti, even if he is afflicted by lust, he has the qualification to begin the practice, and just by practicing bhaktim pratilabhya, after performing bhakti, what happens? His other impurities like lust are destroyed naturally.
Sí, pero si alguien ejecuta o si alguien practica el bhakti, incluso si se ve afectado por la lujuria, tiene la calificación para practicar el bhakti. Y por solo practicar el bhakti, esas impurezas como la lujuria se van desvaneciendo, se van destruyendo.
So, there are many quotations in Shastra, and there are many descriptions and narrations which show that even a person who has fallen is protected by the performance of bhakti. The classic example being Ajamila, who did not even have to chant the pure name in order for him to attain Vaikuntha.
Y hay muchos ejemplos, muchas citas y muchas narraciones y descripciones en los Shastras donde se describe que incluso si alguien es caído, si alguien se cae, aún así puede ser protegido por la práctica del bhakti. Y el mejor ejemplo de esto es Ayamila, quien ni siquiera cantó el santo nombre de una manera pura, pero aún así obtuvo el reino de Vaikuntha.
Karma, jnana, yoga, etc. They are all dependent on one's internal purity, the purity of place, materials, etc. And if they don't have any cleanliness or purity, then maybe the progress on these paths is obstructed.
Y otras prácticas como el karma, el jnana, yoga, etcétera, todas dependen de la pureza interna del practicante, de la pureza del lugar, de los materiales que utiliza para la práctica, etcétera. Y si no hay esa limpieza o esa pureza, entonces eso obstaculiza su práctica.
But bhakti is the life-giving substance of these paths, and bhakti is independent. Therefore, bhakti does not depend on its success or failure on anything else. But these other paths, they depend on the presence of bhakti for their success.
Así que el bhakti es lo que le da esa sustancia vital a estos demás senderos. Y el bhakti es independiente de todas esas demás prácticas. Y ya que el bhakti no depende de nada para tener éxito, pero esas otras prácticas o esos otros miembros del yoga o esas otras ramas del yoga dependen en bhakti para ser exitosas.
There's a very famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 6:14-5. Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayanaha sudurlabha prashantatma kotishavi mahamune 6:14-5. You can just read the translation.
Sí, hay un texto muy interesante en el Srimad Bhagavatam 6:14-5 que dice: Oh gran sabio, de entre muchos millones de personas liberadas y perfectas en el conocimiento de la liberación, tal vez una sea devota del Señor Narayan, Krishna. Hallar a uno de esos devotos completamente pacíficos es algo extraordinariamente difícil.
And it is mentioned here that Upendra, which means Indra's younger brother, he assisted Indra to support him out of his mercy. But it doesn't mean that he is younger because he's younger to Indra, he is inferior to Indra. Similarly, bhakti becomes a limb of jnana, just to support jnana. This has to be understood.
Entonces se menciona aquí que así como Upendra es el hermano menor de Indra. Así como Upendra asistió a Indra para ayudarlo, para apoyarlo por su misericordia, de la misma manera, bueno, eso no quiere decir que solo porque Upendra sea menor es inferior a Indra. Entonces, de la misma manera, el bhakti se vuelve solamente una rama del proceso de jnana, pero esto es solo para apoyar al jnana, pero no quiere decir que sea inferior al jnana.
You can read the last paragraph. To conclude, the preeminent, all-pervading, totally independent, self-manifesting and life-giving nature of the great energy bhakti is of the same nature as the Supreme Lord from whom the bhakti emanates.
What page is that?
Last page, page 10 or 11 or whatever, the last page of the chapter.
Sorry, I got lost, so I was just translating as we went.
Anyway, so you can just say that
Okay, I found it.
the Supreme Lord is independent and self-manifesting and life-giving. Bhakti comes from Him, so Bhakti is also independent, self-manifesting and life-giving.
Bueno, sí, entonces el capítulo concluye definiendo que el Señor Supremo es independiente, es automanifestado y de Él proviene la vida. Entonces, similarmente, el Bhakti, que es una energía del Señor, también es independiente, se automanifiesta y también da vida.
Oh, Davida.
Da vida.
So, Kovaina seveta vina naretaram, except an animal who would not serve the Lord, therefore.
Menos a un animal quien no sirve al Señor.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So we concluded the first chapter that bhakti comes from bhakti. Bhakti is independent of all other paths, but all other paths depend on bhakti for their success, and bhakti comes from the devotees because they have the bhakti with them, and Krishna empowers the devotees to bestow this mercy on others. So bhakti does not come from any other cause but bhakti itself. Just like the Lord is independent, bhakti is also independent, and therefore everybody should do bhakti. This is the conclusion.
Entonces, así completamos este primer capítulo del Madhurya Kadambini. Se concluye que el Bhakti proviene del Bhakti y el Bhakti es independiente. Todas las demás ramas o prácticas dependen del Bhakti para tener éxito y el Bhakti viene de los devotos porque los devotos tienen Bhakti con ellos y Krishna empodera a esos devotos para que ellos puedan distribuir ese Bhakti. Y el Bhakti no viene, no surge por ninguna otra causa material, sino que surge del Bhakti mismo Así como el Señor es independiente, el Bhakti también es independiente. Y por ello todos debemos practicar el Bhakti.
So, I invite any of you to also post a summary of whatever are your learnings in the group. So we can take these classes very seriously. Summary of whatever I've said can be posted. Whoever knows whatever, please post it. And I have 10% charge on my iPad, so we can at least speak for 10 minutes. Question and answers. Hare Krishna.
Así que me gustaría invitar a cada uno de ustedes a que por favor publiquen en el grupo que hemos creado un resumen de lo que están estudiando en estas clases, para que de esta manera podamos tomar las clases de una manera más seria. Así que quien sea que tenga algo puede compartirlo en el grupo. Y solo queda 10% de carga, dice, así que vamos a hablar.
I also want to
minuto
thank
más.
our Karunaksha Prabhu, because you would have already heard him, how expert he is in translation. I think I have never seen such a translator in any language. He's excellent. Say that.
Sorry, I'm not so good. I didn't.
Glorifying yourself. Oh, of course you are. Anyway, muy bien translation, muy bueno, huh? Muy bueno translation. Translation.
I can say.
Translation.
I can say it.
Yeah.
In Spanish, I
Yeah,
can say it.
say.
Prabhu está diciendo que Karuna Daksha nunca ha encontrado otro traductor igual a Karuna Daksha, porque, bueno, esa es mi palabra, es un profesional y es muy bueno.
Ay, boy. Be Karuna Bhakta, no? Karuna speaks mercy. Okay. Questions, comments? Are you happy, mother? It was your idea to start these classes.
Yes, Prabhu, very happy, very happy. This is the strong of the Bhakti. This class will become more stronger the Bhakti, no?
But it should not become like I am your family tutor. You and your 2 sons attend and that's it. Idea was that it should be for everyone. So devotees of El Salvador will join. Some of them will join. And you can join. You can encourage those who are interested to join. Like I said, it should be at least, ideally it should be at least 16 rounders. Otherwise they will not be able to empathize. But everyone is welcome.
Ramachandra have a question.
Yes, sorry, I'll just close the book that I was going through. Yes, Ramchandra Prabhu. How are our wonderful deities? Please show me the deities. Can you see? No, we can't. They're
They're
closed.
great. No, right now they're open,
Okay, just.
but I'm in the kitchen right now. So
Oh, okay.
Si
So next
tienen-
time you should give us darshan of Navdeep Chandra Khodanitai.
Si tienen alguna pregunta en Facebook, también pueden hacerla en los comentarios
question.
y la haremos.
thank you so much for your class project. Very inspiring. My question is on the source, where the source of bhakti in itself. You said that it comes from the mercy of the Lord, or well, it comes from the mercy of the Lord, and the Lord only gives. But we see that only few people get bhakti. So those people are actually devotees of the Lord, right? So you see, it's kind of like confusing, because if they're already devotees of the Lord, then they already had bhakti. So, you know, how does that work? Like, where does it come from? You see,
That's really the point. Bhakti comes from bhakti. There is no other source. Bhakti is the cause of bhakti, because unless you have devotion, you cannot give devotion. And the ability to give the devotion comes from the Kripa Shakti of the Lord, that He has delegated that department to you. It is just a continuation of our discussion in Kuramaro. It is just that
Right.
devotion is with devotees, because Krishna has allowed them to bestow that mercy, because He is subservient to the devotees. Like Krishna mentions in the context of the 4 Kumaras, that I have become the Supreme Lord because I have worshipped the lotus feet of the Brahmanas, which means the Vaishnavas. So in Bhagavad Gita, they talk about 3 elements that are required for bhakti: Bhagavan, Bhakta, and Bhakti. So they have their independent existence.
Yeah.
So sometimes the Nitya Siddha comes down to deliver bhakti. Sometimes the Sadhana Siddhas come down to deliver bhakti. Sometimes an ordinary jiva is empowered by pure devotees to bestow bhakti. Bhakti comes from bhakti. There is no other way. Because the 4 types of people who take shelter of Krishna are all Sukritis. They are not Bhaktas. They get devotion only from devotees. Artha, Artharthi, Jijnasi, Jijnasu and Jnani are Sukritis. They are not Bhaktas. So they get devotion only by the association of pure devotees. So unless you are a pure devotee, and that would mean that Madhyama Adhikari, at least, because Madhyama Adhikari can bestow mercy. Uttama Adhikari, just by seeing him you can get devotion. Darshana pavitra kare. The Kanishta Adhikari, by seeing him your devotion may go away. so because he has faith in the deities but not in devotees. So that way it is reconciled. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, right. So the original devotee, because all the other devotees became devotees because of the original devotee. So that devotee was already always devotee, basically.
Yeah. In fact, all of us are always devotees. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunai. It is dormant in our heart. It is only just like you have a street pump in India, you would have seen. Before you pump the water, you pour a few drops of water on the pump. Then you pump it, it comes out. So already there is some devotion. That is fanned by the process of Shravanam Kirtanam, which is given by the Bhakta. And that's how it happens.
Thank you so much, really.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. All right. So let us conclude on that good note. You want to translate that or that's it, no?
Well,
Yes and no.
yes and no. I asked if there was any questions on Facebook, but since there's no questions,
Who's there on Facebook?
we had 3 or 4 viewers. We have 2 viewers left, some left.
Okay.
So, yeah, we can
Fine.
conclude.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Madhurya Kadambini ki jai,
Jai,
and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Sri Radha Madan Gopal Gaurnitai Jagannath Ballabha Subhra Sudarshan ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Sri Gaurnitai of El Salvador Dham ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Sri Navdeep Chandra Khodanitai of ISKCON Kwaremaro ki jai. Nitai Nitai Gaur Sita.
Lord Rishi Kumar Prabhu, thank you so much, Prabhu, for
Jai,
tutoring us
Sri
and
Sri
give
Kumar
us
Prabhu.
the bhakti.
Hare Krishna.